Hey fourth graders, today is going to be an art day, so I hope you're excited for what we are about to do today. If you don't get done with all the steps, totally fine. We will continue with this art project next week. I'd rather you take your time, make sure all the steps are done neatly, rather than rush through just to get things done. So the first thing that you are going to need to do is you are going to need to walk up to the front and you are going to need to grab a green sheet of paper. You can see that this has the leaf that is printed on it. Once you get it back to your desk, on the back side, you're going to put your first and last name on it so that we know it belongs to you. You can pause the video at this time. You can go up to the front of the classroom and you can grab one of these sheets. All right, now that you have your green sheet, we're going to go to the next step. For the next step, you are going to need to go to the front of the classroom again, and you're going to need to grab a green marker. You will need to use the marker for this next step. I know some of you prefer colored pencils, some of you prefer crayons, but to get the best results, I have found to use this green marker. When you get your green marker, this is what you are going to do. I'm going to hold this close to the camera so that you can see, but you can see the black line that was printed onto the green sheet. And then you can see the green line right on the inside of that black line. So that green line is touching the black line. I'm going to pull it out so you can see what it looks like. So you're going to use your green marker and do an inline of the leaf. You can pause your video at this time and complete this step. Your next step that you are going to complete is you are going to section off your leaf using a green marker once again. So you should be keeping your green marker this whole time. And what you are going to do, the easiest way that I can explain this, is start by dividing your leaf down the middle first. Then what I did was I started here in the middle and I went out, and I went here and I went out. So my starting point was pretty much the same, but I just went out on each point. Same thing here. I went here and out. I went here and out. And then I went down here, here, out, here, out. So on each side, 1, 2, 3, you're gonna draw 3 lines. By doing that, you're gonna break it up into 4 sections. So once again, you can pause this video, divide it down the middle first, start at the middle with your marker, go up and out, up and out. 3 lines, and that will divide it into 4 sections. You may pause your video at this time and you may complete this step. All right, now that your leaf is divided comes the fun and unique part. You should be familiar with Zentangle patterns. We've done a lot of different art projects where we have incorporated those into it. On this project, you are going to pick 8 different patterns and you're going to use your green marker, that's all you're using, and you are going to put a pattern into each of the 8 sections. Remember, try and keep patterns that look somewhat similar far apart. For example, I have some dots up here. I didn't use dots again till here. I used checkerboards here. I didn't use bricks until I was here. So try and space your patterns out. If you have a pattern in your mind, that is great. A repeating pattern, remember. If you have one in your mind that you want to use, that's awesome. But if you're like, I can't come up with any ideas, I have a template up front that you can go ahead and grab, and that'll give you some ideas of what to do for your patterns. You can pause the video at this time and you can complete your 8 patterns. Now that you are done with the leaf, you are going to set your leaf aside and you are going to go up to the front and you are going to grab a beetle template. It should look like this. So you can grab this. You can walk back to your desk, and when you get back to your desk, you're going to do the same thing, and you are going to put your name on the back of that. You can pause the video, and you can do that step at this time. Okay, so for the next part, there are a lot of different steps. I'm going to break them into 3 different parts. So the first thing that you want to do is you are going to color in these items. So there's four, excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items total. I used a regular size Sharpie to do mine. Just make sure you throw a pink sheet underneath of that if you are using Sharpie. You need to color and you need to stay inside the lines. So I'm going to show you what my completed ones look like. So that is what they should look like when they are done. So you can pause the video at this time. The only thing that you are coloring in, and you need to use black, are these 8 pieces. So the 2 antennas and then the 6 legs right there. The next part that you are going to color is going to be the body of the beetle. So this piece right here. And honestly, this is probably the easiest and the quickest part. You're going to do the eyes, you're going to do the head, and then this neck part right here is what you're going to do. I'm going to show you mine up close so you can get an idea. You do not need to use these colors. The only ones that I want you to stick with are black for the eyes. Like again, a regular size Sharpie works great for this. So if you look closely, you can see that I left a little tiny piece of white that I did not shade in. That gives it that iridescent or that shininess that we talked about earlier in the week. I chose to use marker. I did some bright colors. I really liked yellow for the head and blue for the neck. If you want to do the same as me, I'm totally okay with that. Or if you want to pick some other colors, that is fine as well. But we are going to do bright for our beetle. So think bright beetle. You can pause the video at this time and you can color in the beetle's neck, the head, and the eyes. All right, the last step that you are going to do, we are on the last step. You have 1, 2, 3 body or wings, they look like. And for each one, you are going to do 1 repeating pattern. So 1 repeating pattern on this entire side, 1 new one for this one, and 1 new one for that. And you're probably thinking, well, what do you mean by that? So I'm going to show you what I did for mine. So you can see, you can look closely, you can still see that dividing line, but the whole pattern stays consistent, that whole wing on this one. I did bright once again. You don't have to do this. You can use whatever type of pattern you want, make them bright, make them fun patterns. Here's a new pattern I did, use some more bright colors, and then here's my last one. So the last thing that you are going to do is you are going to make sure at the end of class, regardless of where you are at, that your name is on the back of both of them, and then you are going to stick them into your designated art cubbies. If you are 4A, they go in the 4A art cubbies, 4B, and 4C. If you have any questions, I will be around on Monday, and I would be more than happy to help you. I hope you enjoy this art project.